20 tournaments undefeated. Will this be another notch on the list for Team Vitality, or will the Empresses make history? Once again, welcome to the Land of Dawn. We're ready to kick off game number 1 in this best of 5. Mirko, how are we feeling about the lineups here? I know, the desk is PHID also, but how are we feeling?
I think we're the same, right? I mean, PHID here on the desk as well, on the caster desk. But I mean, looking at the lineup, I'm not too sure. Team Vitality definitely taking a risk here, going for the CC pick. Usually, we see Fumieko on picks like, it's always playmakers. The Terizla, the Yuzong, and last MWI is actually the Lapu Lapu. So, very interesting to see already a carry pick in the XP instead of the usual comfort pick that we see. Cine as well on the Ruby, right? Usually we expect the mid lane to be the one taken away the Angela, now brought back. This might be the second time, third time in a row, but Cine will be able to dash away. But back to my point, it's gonna be a bit tough this time. With the Ruby in the mid, it's kind of different, Usually we see Angela.
Yeah. That's what I'm wondering. We've seen now up to this point 4 days where these ladies have had to figure out the Jushin pick. And is this the answer? Is this part of it? Bring in Ruby, bring in this Angela combination for both of them, because even if you're dragged back and forth like we've seen so many times, at least you get some sustain. At least you're able to heal back up relatively quickly. I mean, even with both those heroes locked in, and that might be enough to just kind of leave it to more so a dead lane, unless they can find a pick off here.
Val already moving forward. The shield unity now helped out by Vivian, forcing Amarai to actually dash away. So, Smart Omega Empress losing out on the mid-prio just from that rotation from Vival. Starts up the Turtle.
Okay. Turtle's going to be up here. Still needing those level 4s, of course, here across the board. But the same thing, you're going to see, okay, Vivian actually has to burn the flicker for part of that, which she should be fine with. I mean, she doesn't necessarily need it right now. She might just try to get that level 4 too if they can. But the Turtle for the taking, it's at half health. There's the positioning. Murray gonna force Vival back, and wow, Cine's low too.
Primal Wrath used up already. Now Murray pops into Bulwark. Ayanami doing some damage now. The beacon comes down as that's gonna be the flare, bringing him back. I'm offended, able to connect onto the back as well, but Cine will be able to escape. First blood there with the Poissons. Fumieko still chasing them down. It's a kill, traded over for Turtle. Fumieko still playing away with those yo-yos, but it will end just like that. Up top, though, we can see that it's a big win for Shinoa.
Yeah, good trade, though. I would say either side, but Smart Omega Empress pulls out a little bit further ahead. And like you said, a lot of that also, that gold plating there on the top side for Shinoa is secured. But first blood in the hands of Team Vitality. It went to, of course, Vival, which is going to help her rotate a little more confidently on this Baksha pick. That's one of the reasons why you still pick it. I know we're in the assassin meta for the most part, but a pick like Baksha with an Angela is actually quite deadly because you can just appear anywhere around the map very quickly. We're going to take a look at the items here real quick, falling into place. No first items locked in just yet. You got the Molten Essence to help farm a little bit faster because, you got to keep up with a Nolan. So you're going to have to work around that, but also it'll be interesting to see how they play it apart. And dealing, they're going to use the I'm Offended. I don't think there's any follow-up there. And so with that, again, Team Vitality still kind of just keeping things even, for the most part for Smart Omega Empress. They want to be able to go full force against the next objective here. We're still 40 seconds away from it, but let's talk about this matchup up here. The Melissa, man, it hasn't popped up too much. We've seen it a couple times. Is this a good matchup against the Roger up in the gold lane?
I mean, to be fair, Melissa really bullies almost everyone. I think the only matchup, hold up, Earth Shatter onto 2. Fumieko still able to purify out, but the Illuminati Blast catches both of them. Fumieko escapes City. Not fortunate enough to actually get out of there. And yeah, no, Melissa dominates through lane, usually only getting countered by heroes with blinks. So Claude, Moskov could be the case as well, as long as you can get out of the muddles.
Are you a Melissa main now? I know for a while you were like 1-1.
1-1 when I first started, and then Melissa ever since that skin, this skin.
Okay.
For no reason.
Ever since that one. Well, with that, Turtle's up. They're going to go ahead and start it up. Hard guard going to be used, though.
Yeah, onto Fumieko with the curtain calm placed down as well. Now, meanwhile, Viva on the bottom lane just 2v1ing. Fumieko dashing forward, good mobility. City flickers forward, gets a donut on Wolf King. Viva on a chase down, but Keishi is just so mobile. In the end, they baited out so many big abilities, and Smart Omega Empress still get the objective.
Very disciplined. You know, that's what we're seeing here from these decisions. They don't have to fight. They get the objective, they get out, and that seems to be the move right now for Smart Omega Empress, as they want to go ahead and match up, you know, pretty much across the board with objectives. And dealing with that for Team Vitality, you know, they're falling a little bit behind now. We're talking, you know, 1,000 gold, nothing too crazy. So it's up to them if they really want to kind of even out what's happened in these past couple minutes with the objectives. It's to get a pick off and a kill. Now, the one thing that's hard is Edith, man. Edith has been popping up time and time again, and there's a reason for it. She, like, the fact that you can onward Earthshatter or vice versa, and then pop a ton of damage once you pop the ultimate, the Primal Wrath, that's scary. That's tough to deal with. But then you round it up with the fact that you have a Lolita. You know, now we've seen Lolita in the past. Didn't work out too well. Hold on, Fumi Echo. Okay, she's got hard guard hovering over her too. But again, going back to it, Lolita pairs up really well with this. This could be the move that Team Vitality needs, though. They're just trying. It feels like they're kind of almost in a way like we need to find a kill to even things out.
Definitely. It does feel that way, you know, for Team Vitality, especially here. As even in the bottom lane, you can see that Fumi Echo, even on the CC, is actually having a tough time. Chill moves forward. That's a flare coming down. Chill able to dodge away with the Lycan pounce and then flicker out as well. Airborne brought back. Blast under the turret. Not too sure if they want to come in onto this. They'll go for the turret instead. Mirai moving forward with the stun. Not enough damage. Shinoa, no mana. Chell brought back again. The healing's still there. Vivian even caught, forced to flicker out. Now both flickers, Chell and Vivian, depleted.
And with that, this is just going to help build that lead up. Still looking for a play possibly here, but it's not Ayanami, and she's so tanky. She just pops the Primal Wrath. She's going to be fine. And oh, mid lane.
Sene able to survive. The knockout brings her back. Keishi doesn't have enough energy to go for it. Meanwhile, bottom lane, what happened? Ayanami, or rather not Ayanami, very specific there, will be able to outplay the 2v1 situation under the turret, getting Vivo. Now Keishi has a lot of space to go for the neutral objective for free. Fumi Echo cannot contest.
That's 3 for 3 now. Turtles, the objectives here for Smart Omega Empress. Talk about a lot of this macro play that they're making. The decisions are on point so far. It looks like the warm-up that they had earlier on, going 3 for 3, is what they did here, of course, for game number 1. This is a struggle that they've had, you know, dealing with the game 1s, but now they seem to be off to a good start. Looking at the items real quick, too. Some of those first items already locked in. Clock of Destiny there for Amore. Hunter's Strike now available to Keishi. She's working on the next, and even the Thunderbelt, and even that little extra boost of damage helps him out. Meanwhile, Shinoa, she has the Corrosive Ice, and she's working on the rest of the items too. So, you know, at this point, Smart Omega Empress is actually at a pretty good power spike for the mid game. This is all preparing for that first Lord coming up here in a little over a minute. So we take a break, and for Team Vitality, man, it's kind of like still in that situation where it's nothing too crazy to work from. They can actually get a couple kills, or maybe even just a kill or two, to get that numbers advantage going into the Lord. And if they get that first Lord, that's where you're going to see the momentum swing. That's the pendulum that we're always talking about. And even though, you know, 3 turtles in the hands of Smart Omega Empress, 1 Lord can actually help kind of negate some of that, depending on how they approach it. But, you know, we're going to have a quick break here, have a Kit Kat while they figure things out.
Go ahead. Have a Kit Kat. We'll wait.
Let me go grab one.
Yeah, Nice is grabbing one right now. And as we see Nice, as I see Nice grab one, I want one too, man. I mean, oh, we got the biased reporter as well here.
Biased reporter.
We got Reptar Redmar.
Redmar, what are you doing?
I wonder which side he's sitting on, right? I mean, is this... I'm joking.
I wonder what side he's sitting on. You know what? Again, I love what he did, by the way. You know, leading into this, the little one-on-one. You want to have a one-on-one with me, man? You want to tell me something nice?
You know what? Sure.
What do you want to tell me?
Just like Shinoa to Chell, you have great skin. But unlike Shinoa to Chell, I don't think I'll bow down, no.
Okay. Yeah, I don't want you to bow down either. It's all right, man. You know, and so as we wait for them kind of figure this out, of course, before we jump back into the game, I think that's the main point, is pointing out the fact that, hey, Team Vitality, they've been undefeated like this for a reason. Looks like we are jumping back in. And just as a note, I believe the fact is out of all the MWIs, they've only dropped, I think it is 3 games. That's it. Back in, at least for MWI 2024, they've only dropped 2. back in 2023, they dropped not a single game, so 0. And 2022, they dropped 1. So a total of 3 games all has Team Vitality lost. And I feel like Smart Omega Empress, they prepared for this. We heard it in the interviews. They wanted to get to this point. Everybody had Team Vitality on their list. Of course, you want to take down the Queens of MLBB. And game 1 already off to a good start for Smart Omega Empress. You can see once again as we get ready for this Lord in about 30 seconds, everything's falling into place for them. It's just managing these waves at this point, picking up the last maybe 2 or 3 items that they need, and then approaching it from there. So for Team Vitality, again, I think they just need to go ahead and get space to work with. They don't have any turrets down, you know, so it's
Definitely.
At least start there.
And I think, honestly, when we're talking about the composition, Smart Omega Empress, they're doing good. Nah, they're doing amazing at this point, right? Keishi's 2 levels ahead of Vivol. And on the box here, I think we know. If you don't, you know, if you're not able to build up a snowball in the early game to be tough, down below, Primal Wrath already.
Good damage.
Definitely stings from the Echo. Forced back instantly. That's a free turret to not Ayanami Mirai. Opening up the mat, Cine, walking forward, challenge. Well, Lycan pounce. Stunned up, gonna be caught. Forced to flicker out. Now blasting the flicker, continuing over, now forcing the hard guard out. Vivol able to find a shield unity. KG gonna be caught as well. Shinoa pops into muddles. Cine in the midst of it all once again. Able to flicker out. Good go away to prevent any sort of full engagement and commitment. Vivol brought back to the team once again. Isolated again. Vivol still able to tank out a whole lot. As Swimmy Echo does it a bit more damage. Keishi assassinating Vivol, who's caught all alone. Now it's another win for Smart Omega Empress as they group up in the mid lane, not Ayanami. Walking forward, Fumieko taking a whole lot of damage from Amore just with the Lantern Flare. Cine moving forward, not able to find I'm Offended. Amore just zoning them away. Cine brought back again. Good Earth Shatter, now Blast connecting on both. Now Shinoa walking forward, has the muddles, places it down. Cine can be caught, and again, it's not Ayanami on the Primal Wrath. Still going for it. Shinoa looking for a target to go for the muddles again, but finally Smart Omega Empress say, we've had enough.
Talk about an extended team fight into an objective, into a team fight. I mean, wow. Talk about Smart Omega Empress as we look at the STC replay here. This was even after a team fight towards that mid-upper river. And then they hold down this front side. They hold down the mid. Meanwhile, not Ayanami is just firing off here. And they secure the Lord too. You know, so this is just a big power play from the Empresses here because, man, how do you deal with this? Team Vitality, they were trying to get the space that they needed, but even with the healing that they have with the Angela pick, with the shielding, she's even got Flask of the Oasis, they could not withstand the damage that Smart Omega Empress had. And they're going to lose all these tier 2 turrets on top of this whole exchange. Big item pickups as well. Oracle for Murray, a little more defense there. Endless battle. And now they have to defend the base here. Lord's going to go ahead and work on these shields. Are they going to press the situation a little bit further?
Oh, onward coming down. Numenon Blast charged up as well. No flicker to stop City, though. Caught in the midst of it all. Again, good beacon rip-all. Caught, isolated, and taken down. Another bring back as the Purify gets used up. But Fumieko is going to go for another flare. They're able to zone her away. 11 minutes in. Smart Omega Empress will end the game. One of the fastest losses ever that we've seen from Vitality, and it comes through the way of Smart Omega Empress.
Add 1 game to those defeats for the Queens of MLBB. Team of Vitality takes a loss here, a quick one from Smart Omega Empress. Again, talk about how they just came out swinging in this. I don't know if it was the momentum they had from the last series, but they are here to play. They're here to dethrone the Queens, possibly. Off to a great start already. Under that 12-minute mark into game 1. Just looking strong in every single lane and role. Of course, you can't count out Team Vitality at all. It is a best of 5. They'll go back, readjust from it, and get things situated. But would love to hear what the experts over on the stand have to say about this. Let's go ahead and throw it over to them.
The 4th game loss for the Queens of MLBB, the defending champions in such a dominant fashion. 11 minutes, that was all it took for Smart Omega Empress to bag game number 1 in this best of 5.
I feel me and Leo, we completely agree when we come to the conclusion that this game is really about not having enough damage. In fact, throughout the highlights, we can see that, like, this team fight, it went for so long, right? I kind of feel like I could have gone to the toilet, come back, and they're still fighting. That's how long it was. which really shouldn't be that way.
And one might think that if a team fight goes long with the kind of chunky and utility-centric lineup that Vitality drafted, they would win. But no, they're going up against one of the best, arguably the best right-clicker or auto-attacker in the game in Melissa. And this is just what? Barely the late game. She had the Trinity, just the Trinity, 0 kills. She wasn't even snowballing out of control. It's just that Vitality didn't have much of a threat to present to Shinoa.
Let's talk back about the draft here, because we were talking about how the third pick was going to be crucial. The third pick coming in from Vitality was the Angela. The third pick coming in from Smart Omega Empress was the Nolan, even though we said it was early. But because of that, they had enough damage. And honestly, another thing that we do have to talk about was the ban. Smart Omega Empress, they banned out the X-Borg. With that long of a team fight, imagine if Vitality did have that X-Borg. They could have possibly won.
Yep. Fire missiles, last insanity, fire missiles again, get it back, long enough for a cooldown, last insanity. And if you burst it down on X-Borg with Keishi's Nolan, they just walk away, come back, fight again.
Looking at the highlights here, it's really just about fighting with no purpose, because there's no way for you to get a kill. And I was talking about how with this kind of lineup, you have to focus on one target, make sure that target dies, and then back away, try to get some kind of macro play, take some kind of turrets or something.
In Team Vitality's defense, I think we did mention that maybe they're very macro-centric.
Yeah.
They wanted to play the map, henceforth, their lineup was very, all right, chunky, and then we need you, Vivian, right? Come on in, help us out with the Angela. But there was no chance for that. I think Smart Omega Empress just knew that we need to finish it early, we need to finish it now.
I mean, even before the game even started, we also mentioned that this was a very risky and it was a big gamble of a composition that eventually didn't really work out for them. And in the bans as well, we also noticed, other than, of course, everything that you guys already mentioned earlier on, is the fact that they really banned out Fumi.
Yeah.
Do you think that that was an impactful reason as to why they lost in such a dominant fashion?
I would say so, yeah.
Yeah, 100%. The fact that whether or not it was a master stroke by King Coach Salman, it just fell into place, is it not? Okay, Angela's open. Okay, they banned the hell out of Fumieko. Okay, maybe we just do CC Angela, but truth be told, TC Angela just takes too much time that a lineup like what Smart Omega or Empress drafted would just take advantage.
And again, something that the casters did say, even Mirko mentioned, the way that Fumieko wants to play is that she's the playmaker, she's the play setter.
Yep.
But having someone like the CC, it's really more of a distraction or the one giving the damage. So I kind of feel like they're forced into it. Like, there's a lot more picks, the Benedetta, the Paquito, a lot of damage dealers in the EXP, which she might not be comfortable with.
That's the thing, right? Because she needs those playmaking heroes. Arlet. Okay, let's take a look at our heroes right now. We have Arlet, Terizla, Edith, X-Borg, all gone.
Yeah.
She needed the 3 at least. And then, lo and behold, look at not Ayanami, she got the Edith. So this is literally one explainer out of their element, and then the other just perfectly living in high life.
So speaking of that, let's take a look at the PlayStation MVP. Who won that MVP for game number 1? You mentioned it earlier, not Ayanami will bag it again. This time around, 100% KP.
Look at that. Diagon, a SEA Games competitor, a national athlete. Even if Shinoa's not doing much in the early... Actually, truth be told,
she did a lot.
You watch the game. She did a lot, but also she had no kills.
Yeah.
Right? She was just pushing turrets. And why was that so easy? Why was half of the map so easily free for Shinoa? Because not Ayanami was such a menace.
And honestly, not Ayanami was able to get out of lane. That shows that she won the lane going up against Fumieko. And that clip, it didn't show, but it was a 2v1. And then she got a trade first before she died. Talk about having a good game.
There's nothing the curtain call could do. If you're just alone, at best you go, you just keep going.
It's like, strings, ooh.
Yo, oh.
And even up until this point, right? Again, the CC coming through, we were talking about damage. Did the CC not get to that power spike yet?
Nope.
Or what was the problem?
CC is almost like a marksman where you kind of need 3 items. You need the War Axe, and then once the maximum stacks are dealt, you can deal more damage. The second item is going to be Brute Force Burst Plate to make sure you have more movement speed, lower cooldown, so more damage. But yeah, 2 items, it's like you're not tanky enough to deal prolonged damage. CC is just about prolonging the damage.
And one might argue you might even need a little bit of help from the Vengeance.
Yes,
but she
the
was
Vengeance.
forced to use the Purify because of how much CC just not Ayanami alone was presenting.
Yeah, with the Vengeance, she could deal with the Melissa.
So do you have any particular plays that you guys want to show us about game number 1, perhaps, that you guys can break down for us?
Yes, we do. This is at about 4.5 minutes, fresh off of a turtle take by Smart Omega Empress.
Now, this clip is unique. You want to know why?
Why?
There's no kills. No one died in this clip, and that's exactly why we want to show it. Because if we're looking at the clip here, you can see an amazing engage coming in from Vitality. They were able to get 2 crucial members, the jungler and the mid laner. You would think, that's a good engage. You have like, what, three people there? At least one would die. Play the clip. The targeting was separated. Some was going for a Mar, someone was going for a Keishi. And this lineup doesn't have damage in the first place. So if you target at least one of them, say you go for a Keishi, you get 1 kill, focus on taking the jungle. You kill a Moore, control the mid lane. But because everyone's separated, and then they're like, wait, who are we going for? Who are we going for? Everyone was able to escape. So this is like, I don't know, trying to catch 2 chickens, and then the 2 chickens got away.
So, because I think the way that Vitality usually play is that way, right? They like to split things up, and maybe it was a miscommunication on that part that they didn't execute
If they had
their
enough
draft
damage, it's
properly.
fine.
Exactly.
Yeah,
I think it's a matter of using what you got. You know what they say? It's not what you got, it's how you use it. They didn't even have it didn't have anything to use. At the time, what was that, 4 minutes, 5 minutes? Even if maybe they focused down on one, say it be Keishi. Okay, they got a kill on Keishi. If it was the other 2 up top, there would have been some backup from down bottom. That was not Ayanami and Amori down there too.
Let me just say, let's switch the hero. Say it's not Angela and it's Ruby Roam. Replace it with a Lilia. Will they get a kill? They would.
Maybe, yeah.
Replace it with a Farsa. They would.
Replace it with a Faramis.
They would. Replace it with a Valentina, even though it was banned. They would. So I kind of feel like they're used to using this kind of heroes where they would get a kill. But then you switch it up and it's more utility than damage. Then you're playing the way that you usually play, but not the heroes you're usually playing it with.
And now we're at a point of chicken and egg. Was it because CC Angela, because it's Angela first? Or was it Angela first planning for the CC, and did it just not work out the way Vitality planned?
That's a big question, because we made a big argument about the Angela, right? Is Angela better in the mid lane? Is Angela better in the roam? And for MWI, this is going to be the first time I believe that Cindy's actually picked it up. And she's usually
Actually, Cine used
utilized it-
Ruby.
Oh!
Yeah, Cine used Ruby. Yeah, Vivian was the one.
So maybe that's it, right? Maybe they're not accustomed to these picks.
All right.
Maybe Cindy's used to heroes that are more burst heavy, that has more
the
damage
thing.
in the game.
Angela is not a tank. She's not called the mother of supports.
I do agree. Honestly, Mother of
That's
Tank
true.
sounds better.
Yeah.
That's true.
Mother of Dragon sounds better too, but you know, it's whatever.
So let's take a look at the predictions earlier on. Guys, did you fill in your predictions? Did you put it in? stcplay.gg? Don't forget. Okay, we're in the middle of a best of 5, so you do have a little bit more time to lock in your predictions. But there you go, www.stcplay.gg. Go ahead now. Omega already has that first game. So you guys have a little bit of an advantage. I mean, there is still a chance for Smart Omega to go all the way, clean sweep the Queens of MLBB.
At this point, yeah, because maybe Team Vitality overthought it. Right? Maybe they're like, oh, this is going to be an intense match. So they're playing 5D chess with themselves, where sometimes you just got to keep it simple. Have enough damage, have enough utility, win the game.
Number one, it's best if you're not competing with yourself. And the second, maybe not 5D chess. 3D chess itself is already very difficult. At some point, you just want to go from A to B. I think that's where Vitality is strongest. Because, again, mechanics, almost on an individual level, lane to lane, second to none. Macro, you know that their communication is set, because I think, I can say this, in the realm of MLBB esports for women, they are the single team that did not change over the past 3 or 4 years, right? They are a singular force.
Yeah.
So you know that if you keep it simple and you get a fair and equal ground, I think Vitality's got this.
Yeah, I don't like it when teams go overcomplicated and start making mistakes in the draft. Just keep it simple. We win with Hero A, just pick Hero A. Unless it's banned, then okay, change your strategy.
I mean, we've been seeing this sort of same pattern coming from Team Vitality, right? From the group stage all the way into the first day of the knockouts. And now we're here in the semifinals, right? A lot of people have been saying,
Grand
okay,
finals.
maybe semifinals before.
Okay.
But now, yes, grand finals. That
Good check. Good check.
There's a issue, I think. Either they're experimenting or their drafts are just not as on point as usual. So, ladies and gentlemen, as we get into the drafts of the second game, it looks like both teams have opted to stay on the exact same side. And it looks like the same bans are also coming through. With the issues with the drafts of Team Vitality, do you think there should be any changes in the first phase?
Number one, get some burst in there.
Yeah, agree. Either the jungler or the mid.
Oh, even the gold. They can put the Brody there. They can play and draft towards the Brody.
Yeah, I don't know. For me personally, I would like Vival on something with a little bit more damage, and the same can be said for Cine. Like, you have the mother of tanks. Use a tank, right? Is that a crazy thing to say? Right?
Yeah.
It's like, oh, you're so good at using this one here, and it's like, you know what? Grand finals, never mind. Let me switch things up.
All right, it's fair that Omega Empress banned out the Minotaur here.
Yeah.
Safe, right? And then maybe Vitality first pick the Edith.
I like that.
That's solid.
That's solid.
Do it.
Edith, and then eventually pick up something like a Tigreal.
They don't even have to. Like, it can wait until the very last phase.
Yeah, there you go.
Oh.
Edith first pick.
Nice.
That's Fumi
Nice
Echo.
call. Edith.
Yeah.
And
I mean,
it's a
like-
flex.
It's
Because technically,
still a
it
flex,
doesn't
yeah.
have to go to Fumi Echo. So
It
in
enables
case
so much.
they can find a more, I would say, what's the word for it? When you take control of something.
Initiative. You
Initiative
have-
type of EXP laner. I'll work with that. They can utilize this as flex.
A proactive, you mean?
There you go. That's a word. Proactive. A proactive EXP laner
Got
for
you.
Fumi. They can fall back on Edith for Fumi.
Right now, I'm thinking for Smart Mega Empress, I think they will eventually want to take the Nolan again. So pick up a gold laner. Their pattern is pick up the gold laner a little bit later. Unless they want to pick up the Roger here just so that they can be more proactive in the draft and then deciding later where the Roger is going to go. They're picking up the Ruby, very solid pick, and the Jushin. So I think they're sticking to their pattern, letting the gold lane see what everything has first and pick up that hero for Shinoa. And then maybe they're going to pick up a third pick Nolan here.
I'm liking the numbers on Jushin. It's clear that the teams have been studying her, using her here and there.
This is what we want to see before.
60% win rate. This is technically not burst, but it's reliable damage. It's reliable enough.
It's reliable against the Jushin.
Yep.
Right? Like, the reason why Zas is here, okay, it's for the damage-dealing junglers, but it's also because of Jushin. Having the Ruby as well does make it a little bit more difficult because we got to talk about what Zas does. People want to initiate, right? Say I'm a tank. Say I'm a Tigreal. I want to catch you, but the moment I get hit by a laser, I'm not stunned, but it damn feels like it, right? So I can't move. Initiate is going to be tough. Vitality, they know the third pick is going to be that Nolan, so they take it for themselves.
And it makes sense, but it's a gamble, right? They're picking this into a Ruby. Is that going to be a big deterrent to their gameplay?
I think this is another time wherein you say, hey, that Nolan might have been too early. They may have overstepped because Omega Empress here can definitely answer this Nolan. Mind you, last game, they were on red, and they were the ones who picked the Nolan first, but they were able to clean up XP. This time around, they pick up the Melissa. Again, a great answer towards the Nolan. So from here on, best believe, Omega Empress is going to attack not just Vival, but also, again, I think they will now change their priority to attacking Chell.
I do agree. Maybe ban out the Booty as well as the Claude, because I feel like the Claude can still do quite well.
Yep.
Yeah, so the Claude has been banned. Looking at this lineup, you would consider, actually no, I was talking about the Harif, but because the Ruby is there, they're probably not that afraid of the Harif, especially because I feel like the Melissa does well against the Harif
Yes.
as well as the Roger.
Harith loses lane
Yeah.
against the Melissa because of that range.
So at most, if they want to ban out, I think even a carry could be a bit of a risk.
So let's talk about her options here. Roger, Clint, Moskov, Lunox.
I think the Moskov is great. But if you do pick up the Moskov, it's a little too expensive.
They could ban it here just to be safe, right? I mean, this is the grand finals. You don't want to take any risk. Unless you do want to ban out, because the Tigreal is banned, perhaps this might be a Roma...
Ruby.
Edith.
Edith, yes, Edith.
Oh, I thought you were talking about the Ruby. Still a flex too, by the way.
Yeah.
So, next ban? Still gold lane, Moskov?
I feel like
The
Moskov
choice?
is safe. Yeah,
There you go.
Moskov.
You have a same wavelength as Salman King Coach, huh?
Another ban that could be coming up here because we saw it before is the Grok. If it's not the Grok, what other roamers do they want to take out? I mean, I don't know. The Ruby is still flex, but if we're going based on history, this might be a Grok ban.
So they completely just ignored the Angela up until this point, right?
I personally don't like the Angela because most of the compositions is in, not enough damage.
Yeah,
That's it.
leave her out of this.
Yeah. Oh,
That's another choice I was thinking of, because even if there are those little I call them caltrops, little droppings from the Sask, I think a majority of what Vitality does would still be hurt by Lolita. Mirai did amazing in game 1 on the Lolita.
Maybe they're setting up for Shell, making sure that nothing is gonna get brought back.
Reflected.
Nothing is gonna get reflected. Thank you very much.
Ixia?
Now, okay, for Smart Mega Empress, they're picking up the Roger, so
They're so proactive.
yeah, very proactive. This mid trio, assuming this Ruby is going to be roam, is actually pretty scary. If the Roger picks up a Sky Piercer first or second item, they could demolish Vitality's lineup.
But I mean,
he doesn't have to, by the way.
with the Susin, it's not amazing clear though, right? So
Yeah.
You don't need
call
amazing
this
clear.
mid-prio?
You just win.
Yeah, you just win. You don't need to clear. You just see someone, you bring that person over, and be like, we got a Roger here. Deals a lot of damage. Kill them.
You feed the Roger.
Yeah. You let the dog out.
Oh. You'll be thankful I'm not on the casting desk.
Yeah.
And now follow up. They
All the
still,
sound effects.
they still pick up
what?
the Harif. This is risky, right?
Dangerous.
We can agree on this. This is
Yes.
risky going up against the Ruby, and the Grok picked up, so this is why they didn't ban it out. They want it for themselves.
Okay, in this last phase, I think the Grok was a win.
Yeah.
But this is one step forward, 2 steps back.
0% win rate though. Just saying. 3 times pick, 0% win rate, 4 times banned.
That's tough.
So Grok, Rome, right? Edith in the EXP lane?
Yeah.
Yes,
Is
yes,
that a
yes,
winning
yes.
lane for the Edith?
Something they could even consider is put Ruby in the Rome and pick up something like an X-Borg if they want.
Ooh.
Right?
Yeah, I think that's just a fully fighting lineup
Yeah.
for Mega Empress.
We move forward. We don't move backwards.
And it would definitely be a problem for the setups, for everything that Team Vitality has. This is risky. I wonder why they went Harith. Are they purposely putting Shell on a weak side gold lane?
Maybe for them, there's no other options. Claude and Moskov are banned. Oh, they pick up the Barat, so nothing too crazy. At least one very tanky player able to sustain the initial damage, bait something out, and then go back in.
If anything, I don't even think it's for the tankiness. It's for the all-in. That's
the catch?
as good as a -1. It's like a Kaja at home.
It's
Yeah.
very not Ayanami. This
Exactly.
is signature not Ayanami from back in the day. So there it
Needs to
is.
change her name.
Ladies and gentlemen, I mean, she kind of did, right? Her name was Ayanami before,
Like-
and then became not Ayanami.
Here and there.
Yeah, technically.
But I like it. I like the draft.
Yeah. I like the draft for Smart Mega.
It's a momentum.
Okay. Game number 2, ladies and gentlemen, as we throw it over to the casters, it's your time to shine.
And shine we will. Thank you so much, experts, breaking it down. And yeah, maybe after this, it's going to be time for not Ayanami to change back to, I don't know, Ayanami?
Yeah, because when she said it's very not Ayanami, I'm like, wait, so is it not Ayanami or is it not Ayanami?
I think a lot of people are wondering that, but let's go ahead, jump into the game here. It's game number 2. Smart Omega Empress already getting game 1 in a very fast fashion, just like they did in the previous series. So we'll see if this lineup from Team Vitality is going to be enough to kind of stop that from happening, even out the series from here. Again, too, Jushin going to the hands of Amore. We'll see if this Zask, which has been the staple kind of pickup against the Jushin pick, is going to be working out. Now, you know, and part of that is, what do we call them? The little Johnnies? What do we
Little
call them?
Johnnies.
Little Johnnies. The little Johnnies, those little aliens, are part of what makes it work. And then also just the Descent is actually such a strong ability. She is going to get dragged back a little bit here, and that's what you have to deal with. But I'm wondering, oh, again, okay. And see, that's what's so annoying when you're dealing against Jushin. Something like that, and then you have to burn the flicker already early on.
Absolutely. Also burning the regen, by the way. So Cindy popped in the flicker and then the regen. And because she kind of greeted out on the flicker, she lost the regen too. Like in Pounce, one of them return and then pull back as well. Amore this time, picking up first blood on the Sin. And it seems for Vivo, she can only really just stay in that bush. I don't even think she can go for any assassinations any assassination attempt to
Yeah.
Keishi.
At least,
Goes for the steal.
Goes for the steal. You know, at least get something out of it. But yeah, even with the mother of tanks getting her hands on the Grok, you can just see how, you know, how much utility there is being able to drag members back, even under the turret. That's what makes it so difficult to play against. So we'll have to see how that adjustment's made because, yeah, part of this is once those level 4s are available, that's where Vivian can start to make those plays. They might just have to give up this first turtle. It looks like that's going to be the case because of how the early game went. And it was nothing too crazy, but that first blood stalling out that level 4 makes it so. So for Team Vitality, where do they find this pick-off? Is it going to be here? Shinoa just hits that level 4, now has that go away perfectly timed. Vivian almost level 4 too. So at this point, you know, if they don't want to make sure that it isn't a repeat of last game,
Good beacon, good purify out, Mirai. Just with I'm offended, Amori's still taking a whole lot of damage there despite utilizing the beacon to escape and also to purify. But she will be able to escape. Does seem like up top though. Because Fumieko is left to XP lane, not Ayanami will be able to stomp on that turret. Getting a little bit of gold, actually stopping Fumieko from getting to lane.
yeah.
Oh, stopping her from getting the minion too! It won't kill her, look at her! Not Ayanami is just denying the farm away from Fumieko.
And you know, it's little things like that that just actually play a big part in the bigger picture of a game. And so great play there once again. And this Barrett's pick, even like I was saying in the previous series, you know, it's not a hero you see picked up too often anymore, but it still provides a ton of value, especially with the lineup that they have. You're going for just, yeah, grab them. You know, at this point, you have a Barrett, you have the Daytona's Welcome. You're looking for Murray to pull in with the I'm Offended. And so you have so many options, and I feel like that's the thing that's going to be the troublesome part for Shell, especially once she pops the Zaman Force. You also have to worry about getting grabbed, you know, at this point. Oh, hold on.
Wall charge this time, no purifying. You can see the instant damage come through from Cine, and then the fracture too from Vival. The Dominator's Ascent is doing as much damage as possible towards that turret.
Some extra gold to work with, but I guess you got to watch out for that too. You got to watch out for Vivian. There's a pull though.
The pull back. Chell jumping forward as well. Vival going to be caught. Keishi still able to find that kill. Now it's Chell. Pops into his Bond Force down to Mincy, but all going to be caught and stunned by the Donor Wolf King. Not able to escape. Keishi gets her down under the turret. Perfect timing for the second turtle to spawn. Smart Omega Empress in full control. Vivian going towards the bottom lane, trying to deny Shinoa from taking the turret goal, but not Ayanami is here. Mirai is here. Amore too. They're just gonna leave Keishi to pick up the turtle without the retribution. Easy peasy.
Talk about timing, you know? You get a couple kills, and not to mention it's a double for Keshi, so she already builds up that momentum, builds up that lead, and then she gets the second turtle. And this is what we've seen them do time and time again. They get a couple victories, and then they push the pedal to the metal. That's what they're doing here.
That's the wild charge coming down already. Mirai gonna be stunned up. Brings time offended, but it's only the Dominator's Ascent. And Sydney wasn't even in there. But still, Smart Omega Empress, they're still gonna be able to actually utilize this to jump inside into the purple buff, stealing it away. It seems Vival is very proactive already, or very reactive rather, rotating and mirroring that movement.
Okay, right now they're gonna go ahead and mirror up here to the top. And really at this point, it's like up the Shell. She's gonna go ahead and get in good position. Conceal gonna be used though. I think they're just gonna force her off the turret. They wanna get the space advantage. I'm not sure if they're gonna be able to get any more unless they force it with an ultimate. They're gonna go ahead and get that turret down. The tier 1 falls. And I think they're happy with that. You know, at this point, Smart Omega Empress making the macro play like we saw them do previously. And so where does Team Vitality do this? How do they stop this from continuing to build up here, Mirko?
I mean, it's going to be really tough, considering technically for Smart Omega Empress, they're fine if they actually scale up too, right? The Melissa is going to be an absolute monster in the later stage of the game. And the fact that she is already 1,300 gold ahead shows you exactly why the Harith pick, in my opinion, wasn't really too good.
You weren't feeling it.
I hate the Harith against the Melissa because I'm a Melissa player, and I know for a fact that I've never lost a single laning phase to a Harith. Even 2v1, it's so hard unless the Harith goes Vengeance. That's for a laning phase only type of deal. And in team fights, obviously the Purify will help you a bit more. But the fact that we saw the Purify and the Harith, I was like, all right, laning phase, Chell's basically not going to be laning. She's just there to soak in gold and wait for a power spike.
And maybe that was the plan, you know? Maybe the plan was, let's just get to the team fighting portion of the game. You know, mid to late game transition. Let Shell get to where she needs.
Whoa.
Dominator's Ascent.
to a wild charge, but it's only onto the tank right now. They've all gone in, and now they're airborne. Brought back Keishi. Right there, Shinoa pops in the Inspire. Light can pounce to pick a double kill. Team Vitality are crumbling under the pressure. Smart Omega, Empress. They're thriving now. Viva walking forward, jumps in onto Mirai, able to find the kill with the fracture. Chell. Zaman forced in onto not Ayanami. He's forced to flicker out back to the mid lane, but again, they trade these kills. It's only onto the roamer to get a turtle.
It's so good every single time. They might trade a death here, but they get something else, and that's a turret too. And again, you have to respect the damage coming out from all members of Smart Omega Empress. And they continue to put the pressure even on the purple buff here as they go and take it away from Team Vitality. And they're finding themselves in this position where they don't have anything here. They don't have any turrets. They don't have any objectives. How can they even approach the next big objective? They've got a minute and a half to figure it out, to get in a position to actually be able to do that. And you know, this time around, the experts talked about it, man. Give a tank to the mother of tanks and let her be able to initiate. And she's been trying, honestly. The wild charges are there, but unfortunately, the damage just is not there. They're not able to follow up against what Smart Omega Empress has with their lineup, and it might just take time. You know, we saw a preview of it with this Nolan pick that could scale up well, like we already talked about with the Harith too. You need time to build up. She only had the Starlium Scythe, I believe. And for Cine even, you know, you can pump out damage. But look at this. You only have a glowing wand right now in the arcane boots. So a lot of time here. Conceal going to be used. Oh. They're not going to connect on them offended, but they want the turret here.
That was great though. The fact that even though it didn't connect, they still baited out the Purify. So Chell kind of panicked in that situation too. Goes to show you the level of composure that Smart Omega Empress have at this point compared to Vitality, who at this point, it does feel like, you know, they are panicking a bit.
Yeah.
Popping those Purifies, going in for these desperate engages, and all that just for Smart Omega Empress to be leading by 4,000 gold. Vivalda staying very active around the map, but now going to be chased down. That's a Lycan Pound.
Wow.
Vival, no purple buff, no energy. That's a Skolo kill down below. Keishi assassinates the assassin.
And that's tough. Even with the Retribution, there's nowhere you can run. There's nowhere you can hide. And that's not going to happen there. And Murray goes in once again. And this might just be, once again, another objective in the hands of Smart Omega Empress. They're trying to trade it at least for a turret up top. They get their second turret of the game here for Team Vitality, but they're going to have to get ready for a defense. And you already know, if anything to be said about the last 4 games that Smart Omega Empress has played, they will force that fight into the base. They will use everything that they have to start a fight under the turrets once that Lord gets marching in, as they take everything from Team Vitality. And now, once again, the tier 2 turrets. Here's a conceal play.
Gonna go in, good wild charge over into the onward, and the Earth Shatter punishing Shinoa, who's so far up front. Down there's a set still in the midst of it all. Amore gonna be melted down, still is able to get out with the Purify. 2 members taken down, the Lord still up to use for Smart Omega Empress.
Great choice. As I was just saying, you know, they're going to take everything from Team Vitality. Vivian says, no, not anymore. Goes in with the wild charge, and that's exactly why she needs heroes like this Grok to be able to make that decision, pop the conceal, make a big play, and that might been enough to go ahead and negate this whole push with the Lord for now. Still at a gold deficit though, a couple thousand gold, but that's been enough to go ahead and clear the waves out that they needed to. I'm not sure if Smart Omega Empress still wants to go for more here.
Good onward by Fumi Echo. She's going to be picked up, though. Has the Primal Wrath. The airborne into the knockup as well now. Flickering back. Vivian still there. Mirai able to find Aimo into the go-away. Shinoa dealing with some damage. As the Dominator's Descent is forced to be used defensively. Keishi walks forward. The light can pounce over to it. Viva on the bottom lane. Cine.
Oh, no.
Caught in the muddles. Chell going to be taking a whole lot of damage. Mirai taking a lot of turret shots, but will still be able to survive. Holy Defense pop in, and Smart Omega Empress won't be able to crack the base turret open. But in the bottom lane, it does seem like, at least for Team Vitality, there is a trade. They get a tier 2.
I think at this point, that's all you can do. Team Vitality knew that they still had to deal with the Lord. They don't lose the base turret. That was actually good for them, granted how far behind they were. And this gets them a couple more defensive items that they need, especially for Vivian. You can see now Divine Glaive locked in for Cine, so now that damage is going to be quite a bit. And even the Malefic Roar plus the Blade and Hunter Strike there for Vival. So she has been making moves across the map and at least gets those 3 turrets. So this gives them a little space to work around with. but they still have to be careful and cautious of the gap. We're still talking 5,000 gold here for Smart Omega Empress. They have a lot to work with. Chell also picks up the Divine Glaive. So this might be that moment that I was talking about. You know, mid to late game transition, you're now here in this portion of the game. You should be able to utilize this Harith. Yeah, you lost the lane. The matchup wasn't good for you. You kind of had a stalemate. You wanted to soak up as much gold and XP as you could. Now it's time to shine.
Now it's City. Oh, she can't even use the Dominator's Descent. She gets deleted right off of the I'm Offended.
Wow. As I said, they had to do something. Unfortunately for Cine, she just got sent to the moon. And at this point, it's going to be a Lord take here. But look at this once again. Vival just trying to make a play on top. But they'll send not Ayanami up there to deal with it. And that's going to be an objective secured here. So no tier 2 on the top side. The plan has been spotted out. But look at the rotation. I don't think they're going to catch her in time here. She should be able to get back just in time. They're not going to find the right bush, so it's up to them. Defense time for Team Vitality.
Oh, and it's going to be quite tough in my opinion, right? Because, sure, they should have okay clear with Cine, but the fact that she's so far behind compared to Amore, 2 levels behind, and it's a Harith. Not too sure about that clear speed, right? You have to use your Zaman Force. So even if you clear out the Lord, that's a massive resource that you would rather have in these skirmishes compared to just defending the Lord. And look at how Smart Omega Empress are already tackling the siege, right? They're just slow pushing the top side. They're waiting for it to build up so they can get as much value as possible.
At this point, Lord still top side. It's going to go in and take that turret down. Some of these shields obviously down too already of the base turrets for Team Vitality. They got to watch and avoid that lantern too. They could get dragged through the wall and then forced to fight. Murray also looking for an I'm Offended here. Lord gonna charge in, get the top turret. Now the mid gonna be, here's the conceal though.
Shinoa finds the goal away, able to escape Shinoa! Able to get the outplay towards the back. Cine still able to claim the kill though, as that is gonna be Chell up top using his Mon Force already. Vivian gonna fall in the bottom side of the map. From the Echo, the Primal Rat brought back to the team right now, as that's Murray, who's right there to follow it up. Mini waves have been cleared up. Now Detsunus welcome, not connecting, but the base is wide open. The Rogers on it, still trying to clear out the waves. Still trying to go for it right now. It won't be enough. The defense is not there for them. Match point for Smart Omega Empress.
A try there, a try with the conceal, but not enough. Try as they might. Team Vitality is gonna face match point and their dynasty at risk here. Smart Omega Empress. 14 minutes for this one. Coming out strong once again and really just having a phenomenal draft. Even there at the end there, Shinoa able to just get something before she ends up dying, but still the timing and the placements, the synergy between the Empresses here are just on point time and time again. And even with the Ruby here for Murray, able to find pickoff after pickoff. And even down to just shutting out this Zask. Unfortunately for Cine, that was a tough game to be against, but still, synergy's there, man, and it's looking like they're rolling with the momentum into the next game. Let's go ahead and throw it over to the studio for the experts to break this one down.
It's been 4 years. 4 years of the dominance of Team Vitality, and I don't think we've ever seen this team being put in this position that the Empress has officially done. This may allude to the fall of an entire dynasty.
I told you, I'm from the future, and what happens in the finals will blow your mind. I don't want to speak out of pocket, though. I want to make sure that this series gets the coverage that it deserves, and I think Lafell will agree when I say the draft for Vitality is slowly getting better, but it's not at the level where it could match Smart Omega Empress's momentum.
I would say we were talking about traps, and does this not look like Team Smart Omega Empress put them in a trap? Like, this Harith pick was forced, right? Going up against the Melissa, going up against the Ruby is probably something that Shell does not want, but what else are the options here? And again, like I said, the third pick is going to be very important. If you don't pick up a priority hero, you're going to lose. Look at Smart Omega Empress. The third pick was the Melissa.
And if I'm not mistaken, the third pick, or at least within the realm of the third pick for Vitality, was the Nolan.
Exactly.
So they answered it completely.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was a big issue, and time and time again, I think even the Indo casters actually walked up to us and they're like, "What's up with the draft? What's going on with Team Vitality?"
More than just the Nolan, though, even the Zask felt a little bit like an answer, quote-unquote, to the Jushin, but look at what Amore did.
Yeah. Honestly, when we're looking at the draft here, this time I feel like they are a little bit more damaged. It's just the coordination here, because it does seem like there were quite a few instances where they went for the team fight. It's just that Smart Omega Empress, they were able to play around the team fight a little bit better. One of the reasons is because they do have the Jushin able to move people around, because we saw even in lane, it's hard for the mid duo of Vitality to even get the minions all that safe, because they kept getting pulled around.
Yeah. We were talking about that earlier in the drafting phase, right? About the wave clear, but it turns out it's not about the wave clear.
Yeah, you don't do it.
If you have the
Just win.
control, it's fine, right? We saw that being implemented so perfectly by Smart Omega Empress, and we are going to crown our MVP for that game by PlayStation. So let's take a look. The PlayStation MVP goes to Keishi this time around on the Roger.
I agree.
A highlight play for me, watching Keishi's performance here in game number 2, is that 1v1 kill on Vival down bottom. If you guys will remember, it was just Vival minding her own business, trying to, pull a fast one over Smart Omega Empress, pushing, and then this was way past this point, by the way. This was all the way in with a push, and then she was just cutting the waves. What does Keishi do? Straight up 1v1.
Maybe a little bit too early for me to say, but I honestly, with her performance, honestly, throughout the day, I wouldn't mind if she's the overall MVP, because she made it work with the Nolan. Now she's making it work with the Roger.
Might even go as far as the group stage. I think Keishi really did step up as one of the flag bearers for Smart Omega Empress.
And she's nonchalant about it.
Yeah, that's
She's happy
why.
to be here.
No, she's like, we won, whatevs.
I don't think they're celebrating too soon, right? I don't think they want to celebrate too soon. They're still a game away, right? And anything can happen in the course of a single game. So there's still a possibility for Team Vitality to come back. But man, if we all know Smart Omega Empress, we know them to be a team of momentum,
Yeah.
right? So once they got the ball rolling, that's when things kind of gets extremely scary for their opponents.
Yeah, let me just say, the way that she reacted, because she reacted, reminds me of Super Marco.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, she's like, we won. It's I got MVP. I got a 1v1.
It's whatever.
It's cool. It's great.
Whoa!
What? Huh?
Wait.
Ah!
Warners! Warners! Wait, what? Wait, here. Almost caught it. Almost caught it.
Oh,
You.
Peekaboo.
Mirko, what's going on, by the way?
Oh, man.
Oh, man.
Again?
Yo, what we did earlier, surprise boos. That's what Smart Omega Empress have been doing. They've been coming up with a lot of different ways to actually answer in the draft, and it's been phenomenal, by the way. Setting up for Shinoa on the Melissa, and then most importantly as well, like you said, Keishi getting so much more value, because in game number 2, they were focused on Shinoa. They were like, all right, how do we get rid of the Melissa? And yeah, when they picked the Melissa, they banned Claude and Moskov. I looked at Nice, I'm like, yeah, it's over.
He didn't like the Melissa at all, and it showed. It showed actually in gameplay there, and this is now at a point where their dynasty, I feel like, is really at a risk here, Mirko.
Sure.
But it is a best of 5, so anything can happen.
I have a question for Mirko. Since Eterna doesn't believe it, and I think she still believes that the Queens will break that, I don't want to say curse. It's Mirko, do you believe that there's something between Indonesian teams and MLBB and where we're playing now?
Something about it. That's a mojo there.
Megatron wouldn't have problems.
He's also of the school of thought that we don't talk about it.
So, you know what? I have something to say about that, but off screen. So, Mirko, we're going to have a talk after this, But thank you very much, Caster, and there you go. That was the Grand Finals Casters. It's Mirko as well as Naisu, and one game away from Smart Mega Empress being the champions.
It's
Satu.
scary.
Satu lagi.
It's scary. We're not even match point, we're championship points.
Isa na lang.
Isa na lang? What does that mean?
Just one more.
Just one more. And we're going to take a look at the player reactions earlier on. I mean, that's intense. Okay, so I guess a few of them were celebrating. Shell doesn't look happy at all. I mean, we were talking about that matchup again, right, with the Harith. She's known to be, alongside, of course, the mother of dragons, the mother of tanks, Vivian. Shell is also known to be one of the pillars of Vitality. And when she's not given a favorable lane like that, it looks like even she was frustrated that she couldn't pull off what she usually is able to do.
I have a question for you, Eterna.
Okay.
You've followed these ladies, the queens of MLBB, for years now. that look in Shell's face, is it just me or does that look like it's their turn? Something broke in them.
I hope not. But yes, I get what you're.
All
I
of
get what you're going
MWI,
for.
right? All of MWI, whenever
were very
Vitality,
chill.
yeah, whenever Vitality stumbles, there's like, it's okay, next game, next game.
Yeah.
That was, I saw something.
Let me say, I'm just glad that if Homegirls lost to anyone, it was Smart Mega, because at least now it's like,
They're here, yeah.
here, But yeah, honestly, going into this game, I feel like everyone does agree. I'm just going to change the narrative a little bit. It's not that Vitality had a bad draft. It's Smart Mega Empress always controlling the draft. And I feel like that is something new to Vitality.
And they're controlling it from red.
Yeah. And that's why I said, personally for me, red side is a bit better for this one.
You know, even back at SPS, right, when we were going through the qualifiers, we had an interview because Team Vitality, they dropped a game against Falcons Vega. That was quite uncanny and very uncharacteristic. And so we had a chance to interview them. And then we were asking them, guys, like, how did you drop that game? What went wrong with the drafts? And then they were like, yeah, Susu Gaja, our coach, sometimes he likes to get a little experimental. So I thought that was a joke before.
And so the thick plans.
Maybe not in grand finals.
Not here, not like this.
Yeah, so
Grand finals.
I mean, I thought it was a joke, but maybe that's what we're seeing.
And here's what's scary is you already see it in the players' faces. They're already reacting to whatever this possibly might be happening.
Again, I kind of feel like there's a reason why going for comfort works.
But here's the thing, there was some level of comfort. Again, a modicum of success on the Zask, and again, Chell on the Harith is a proven thing, but maybe it's the timing, it's the momentum, it's the pacing.
One thing that I do have to say, remember Shell
Yeah.
on this Harif? There are times she avoided the team fight and go for something else. Do you remember that? Right? A major team fight around Lord. She went and ended the game in the mid lane. She might be really good on the Harif, but maybe they have a problem with the Harif in terms of the team fight. I'm just saying, right? There could be a correlation.
If that's the case, then this is a very costly misreading of that situation.
Yeah.
It cost them a game, match point at that.
No, because again, Harif going against a Ruby, going against a Melissa. If you're facing one, it's fine. You're facing two troubles that the Harif could potentially have. So, yeah, I don't know.
Yeah.
If you want the Harif, sure. Get the Harif into a good draft.
It's just the one thing that I usually notice about Team Vitality is this is not new to them, right? Being in a position in game where they're not leading that momentum from the early game, it's not new. And they always find ways to come back. But usually those comebacks are made and created by Shell alongside with Vivian. We saw Vivian time and time again trying to make those plays. We saw a lot of those moments where she made those plays with the Grok, but again, nobody was able to follow up with that damage. So again, it feels like there's an issue when it comes down to, back again, the drafts.
Honestly, we could show you the telemetry if we have the time.
Yeah, I think more than just the drafts, even execution, there's some things that we can point out that...
Sloppy?
I don't want to use the word sloppy, but I guess the clip will show us exactly what.
But let me just set it up, right? Because when we're talking about a setup, what are you going for, right? Are you going for objectives? Are you going for the roamer? Are you going for the mid laner, etc., etc., etc.? Where we see during this grand finals, looks like Team Vitality, they have more or less the right idea, but maybe the wrong way, right? It's like, I want to eat, but I'm eating it in the wrong way. It's like, essentially.
Oh, okay. Maybe we'll get a little bit of a sneak peek into the clip that you prepared for us earlier on, perhaps after this game, if there is another game.
If there is another game.
Right? We're at championship point, ladies and gentlemen, possibly the final game in this best of 5 series. And it looks like Team Vitality and Smart Omega Empress, they're still gonna opt for the same sides, but we do see a little change.
Yep, already respecting Amore's Jushin, but that means something's gotta give, right? Would not put it beyond Salman, Coach King, that he might take out the Terizla here. I think some way, somehow, you just always gotta attack Fumieko. Like just keep her at bay. That's always been key.
Smart Mega Empress again. I feel like whatever the third pick is, that's the one we gotta pay attention to. Either it's gonna be in the goal lane or the jungle, or maybe even this time picking up something in mid. Because, like I said, King Salman, he's controlling the draft. And I'm meaning for both teams.
So with this Zushin pickup, are they trying to look for a Valentina pick for Vitality?
If it's open, I would highly suggest it because the Minotaur is open still.
Yeah, so Omega Empress bans that. They go for the Valentina. What's the answer on the other side? Raja Ruby?
Or the Edith.
You gotta put the Edith here.
Yeah.
And then that opens up a smorgasbord of picks for Empress. Ooh.
Exactly.
What's the word? Smorgasbord?
Smorgasbord.
Smorgasbord.
Yeah.
Smorgasbord.
It's like a variety of dishes.
Oh, okay. So we're waiting on the last ban here. Minotaur. They don't want to go for a trade?
They
Just leave
could.
the Minotaur open, go for a different ban?
No.
Too risky.
Any trade that allows for you to give some initiative to Vitality is a bad decision. So, yeah, force him to pick the Edith and then play from there.
So Roger, Valentina, or Edith. Edith is
Oh,
the pickup,
Edith,
so they pick up the Valentina. And the Valentina.
Roger, Valentina, Ruby.
And the thing is, the Valentina is good against the Edith.
Yeah.
As much damage Edith can do, Valentina can do a little bit more.
Okay.
Roger, Ruby, either way is a very good pick here.
So now we're in a pickle for Vitality.
Vitality's in pickle.
Yeah.
The biggest.
Vitality might even want, okay, let's just say, they want a Tigreal, but the opponent already has a Valentina, so you're kind of like, do you want to risk that?
It's a compromise.
Exactly, like if they want to pick up a Minotaur, the opposing side Minotaur is banned, but meaning to say any big ticket alts coming in from the roamers, they're like, you have a Valentina though, and Amor has been performing the entire day, not just for this grand finals.
Oh,
I agree. She's been very aggressive with her Valentina, opening up maps of very good initiation picks as well. It's not a regular Valentina, it's a scary Valentina. And it looks like Vitality have their own answer. They have Luo Yi and Roger. What do we feel about this?
I like it. Again, the Roger was left open. Could have been the pair with the Valentina. And then, of course, you have Lu Yi. You got to respect the amount of map mobility that you have as a Luo Yi. And, of course, the reliable damage with the polarity. So with that said, Omega Empress, for sure.
This third pick is going to be crucial,
Yeah,
whatever it is.
It's not Shinoa. Because it's not as clear an answer as prior, Game 2. So
They might go for the Nolan again. The Hayabusa. Again, this third pick, this might be the critical point in the entire draft. The Hayabusa pickup here is going to do pretty okay, especially going up against the Lu Yi, because the thing about Edith is that you can control that person, but if you're in Ogi Shadow Kill, who are you going to control?
Yeah. It becomes a skill matter at that, you know?
Like if you can set up the onward with the quad shadow, yeah, but if the quad shadow comes in and you're not there to stop the movement, the Hayabusa might get an early kill.
And usually when we see the Hayabusa being on a certain team, the other usually goes for heroes like Tigreal. But with the Valentina on that side, is that still a viable choice to go for?
It's very risky because, again, as crazy as a Tigreal is with the implosion, it's almost scary with the Valentina. You have 2 dashes.
So it's double jeopardy for Vitality. Like, okay, sometimes it's okay, but other times it's a situation wherein Omega Empress is snowballed out of control. You're going to kick yourself for picking up that Tigreal.
And right now, Smart Omega Empress, they can pick up the Hive because they themselves have the Ruby. Right, they have the Ruby and Vitality. They themselves ban out the Melissa.
Yeah.
The Roger is good against the Hive. Don't get me wrong, but it's an option for Smart Omega Empress if they want it.
And we
But
still don't know
remember-
where the Roger's going.
Yeah, the carry is still open as well.
Yep.
So now for Smart Mega Empress, they can still hide their Ruby, so they can pick up the gold laner here, but in their own fashion, they do like to pick up the gold laner much, much later. But no, they're going to show the carry and hide where this Ruby is going.
Yeah, when I mentioned carry, I meant carry for Vitality. But with the carry on that side, what do Team Vitality go for in the gold lane? A hero for Shell.
I don't mind this Roger being a gold lane,
Yeah,
honestly.
it wins.
Yeah. So pick up something else in the jungle.
What's left for the junglers if not the Roger?
I'm thinking
Nolan,
of
Vayne,
fighter. I'm thinking of fighter.
Alpha.
Yeah.
What else do we have?
Because going up against the Hayabusa might as well secure as much neutral objectives like the turtle as you can. Going for a tank might be, you know, not as great like the Boxia and such. They pick up the Brody here, which is going to be pretty good. So this is going to be a more aggressive kind of lineup. and the Yuzong. So
Finally, Fumi Echo gets her hands on the Yuzhong.
it's been Banna all this while.
And it's a great answer to the carry. I like
is.
it. But again, use with caution. There is a Valentina on the other side.
Valentina is always a caution. This is why she's always in meta.
So it's going to be a Roger in the jungle for Vitality now. How do
Correct.
Omega close out their dress?
You know what? I like it because Omega Empress can actually pick up a hero that beats the Yuzhong. So you deny Fumi Echo from doing Fumi Echo things. So I don't think this is the Ruby in the XP lane. This is a Roam Ruby.
They're picking up the Barats here, so
There it is.
even if you don't necessarily win, I don't think you lose.
Yeah, especially in team fights. After the Dragonoid form lands, you can eat that, you know, anthropomorphic dragon.
Yeah, so it's like Dragon going up against a Lizard. Their ancestral tree connects.
There's some DNA shared there for sure.
A dragon without legs is a dragon with legs is a lizard.
That's what Detna is.
Okay. Thank you for that piece of information. I enjoyed that.
Laura side, I think Smart Omega Empress are playing on a very similar plane. Like this is par for the course. However they played in game 1 and 2, very similar. It's Vitality who's really finding their groove.
All right, possible final game of this best of 5. Final game of MWI. We're going to throw it over to Naisu and Mirko. Boys, take it away.
Thank you very much. I don't know. I think I'd pick the dragon in a fight against a lizard. How about you?
I think so too.
Yeah.
The Lizard doesn't really seem that threatening, but it depends on the stacks. Because he can go from Lizard to Big Dynamite. He can go from Lizard to Trex, and
I
I've
was gonna
casted
say,
with Trex.
He can turn into Trex,
Yeah.
basically.
It's pretty tall.
Big Dynamon. We're going to take a quick break here once again while they get things situated. Have a break, have a Kit Kat. I'm running out of Kit Kats, man.
Don't worry,
I need more.
We have a lot more
Is
here.
there any hazelnut over there? Hazelnut Kit Kat? By the way, I don't know if we have that flavor in the Philippines,
Yeah.
but I would love to take some with me.
The raspberry ones.
I haven't tried it yet.
You haven't tried that? That's the one I've been
I
taking.
think Leo's been... Oh, so it's you and Leo.
Yeah, that's why I...
Save some for the rest of us.
No.
All right. Well, you know, at this point, I feel like that's what Team Vitality's saying over here to Smart Omega Empress. Like,
Yeah.
save some games for the rest of us. We want to go 5 games
Yeah.
in this grand final, Mirko. I mean, what's going on here? Team Vitality, is this draft better, the overall picks,
Yes.
than what they've had the previous 2 games?
Yeah, much, much better, right? Because I feel like in game number 1, game number 2, it almost feels like they've completely forgotten about the fundamentals that have made this team so special. And what are those fundamentals? Simple MLBB fundamentals. It's just they are
Simple.
simply better. Usually, that's the case. So
Yeah.
give them lanes that can actually win up in the matchups
Okay.
and compositions that they're used to. They've been placed on heroes that they are very uncomfortable with, the CC in game number 1.
Yep.
Heroes that clearly just have almost 0 ways to win out in the lane individually. Like the Herod up against the Melissa, because, you know, obviously, great job by Smart Omega Empress to ban out the Moskov and the Claude every single time they set up for the Melissa. But these little things, it stacks up. And now it's stacked up to a point where it's match point
Yeah.
for Smart Omega Empress.
So you gotta, what you're saying is you gotta start at the individual, right? The laning phase. It's almost like a Kit Kat. You gotta start at the little segments, unless
I
you're
did expect
crazy.
that.
Unless you're crazy and you start taking bites from the whole thing.
And at this point, Naisu, that might just be what Vitality needs to do. They might have to bite the Kit Kat straight up. They don't need to crack it. Because they need a win right now.
Yeah, they do.
Because Smart Omega Empress, they did it. They did all the setups, right? Crack it in 2.
Yep.
Okay. Then they eat 1. They eat the other. And now they're just left with 1 more.
That's a good question for all our viewers out there. How do you eat your Kit Kat? Are you a little crazy, a little unhinged? And do you just bite the whole thing from the top? Or do you break it off one by one? You know, like a regular, normal person.
Are you a skibbity Kit Kat eater? Or are you a normal Kit Kat eater?
Someone get me out of here. All right. Well, you know, going back to it, it's really just up to that point for Team Vitality to rise up, to show why they have been called the Queens of MLBB for so long. Again, this is a team, you know, just in this series alone, they've lost almost as many games as they have in the past 3 years.
That's-
you know, for MWI.
That is such a ridiculous stat. That is such a
crazy.
ridiculous thing to say, but it's real for Vitality. You're right. The last 2 games, back-to-back, too. I don't remember the last time they lost back-to-back. I can't, but hey, if I can't remember, perhaps it is also up against Smart Omega Empress. Just not in the club tournament, it was for SEA Games.
For SEA Games.
Philippines were able to also take Indonesia, which is the team that you see here for Vitality, the same exact lineup to match point.
And you know, part of that, I think what you really also want to point out here as we wait for them to get situated is the improvement, the desire to get to this point. The team from the Philippines, Smart Omega Empress, what they've gone through, you know, a lot of the times they fell short getting to the grand finals, and now that they've made it here, what better start could you ask for? You know, already 2-0, facing the match point, you're about to make history. You bring this draft. Is this the draft to etch their names in history of MWI? Is this the one that's going to do it? Because if you really look at it across the board, it's pretty interesting, you know? So I'm going to let the experts answer that question, because we're going to throw it back to them while they talk a little bit more about this. Experts, take it away.
Thank you, guys. Yes, we're back over in the studio, and now we get a little bit more of a chance to talk about the drafts, right? So coming into this game, I think Naisu even mentioned that, is this the final composition that they have committed to end everything here right now?
Can I bring up something outside of the technicalities of the game?
Of course.
Because I want to talk about, because these are professional athletes, right? How they bring themselves is really how they win and lose. And personally for me, there's an art to losing. When you lose often enough, you know how to deal with it. It's been 3-4 years, right? Vitality hasn't lost. So I feel like this is one of the first times they're in a very extreme condition where I don't know if they have the mental capability to be like, it's okay, it's just a reverse sweep. What's the problem?
Well said. A reverse sweep is something that they are alien to. It's something that they've never had to deal with for, again, as mentioned, 3 to 4 years now. While on the other hand, Smart Omega Empress, they've always been third. They've always been the bridesmaid, never the bride in international events. I mean, back home, they do dominate, but now here, I think they're poised to just take the crown.
What about SEA Games? You mentioned that it went all 5 games, correct? How did that go? Was it in a reverse?
Nah, it was like
way?
trading.
Oh.
Like, I win, you win, I win, you win.
Which makes this all the more a very strong argument that, hey, maybe Vitality is not used to playing from behind. Maybe Vitality isn't used to resetting this hard.
Because they're used to, okay, I lose one game, I'm going to win immediately the next one. So it's like, okay, plan A didn't work, doesn't matter. We always got plan B. And it's like, plan B didn't work. It's like, do we have anything more than plan B?
And this is not to downplay their skills as a player.
Of course.
Their mental capabilities, their achievements. No, it's more of just emotional preparedness. And that's something that's, 5 or 6 layers deep when you're developing esports athletes. And here maybe Smart Omega Empress just attacked that layer.
It's something that you can't teach.
This
is something that you need to experience.
You can't count. Like, there's no numbers in this analysis, right? So we're bringing something outside of the game where it's intangible. It's one of those things where you don't see it, but it does happen.
I think it would be great to take a look at the players and how they're doing right now. I wish in a different world that we could go in for a segment with them. But
I don't, man. It's probably...
Right.
Like, imagine the tension.
Be careful what you wish for.
Understandably, of course we wouldn't want to, but it would be so nice to know what's going on in their heads.
Because as far as we're concerned, we can only assume, right? Based on what the camera shows, what the gameplay looks like. And so far, I think I'm not alone in saying Vitality isn't playing much like the Vitality we know.
With all this intensity that's going on, I think the players deserve a break. Ladies and gentlemen, we are going to go to a short one and we'll be right back. We'll see you straight after.
Hey, it's Renmar here. We're here with Keiko, a cosplayer from Myanmar with a Selena virus skin. Hella cool. So, you're here for MWI and you're in this massive stage. Our women are finally getting this opportunity to play and perform in front of a crowd. What does it feel like to be here?
I mean, as a woman, it's such an honor to be here. Like, we always been told to stay at home and cook, but here we are on the big stage representing as a professional player like males do. So thank you so much for having us. Thank you so much, EWC, for doing this amazing MWI.
Yeah, that's what it's all about, finding, being able to showcase the skills of our ladies scene. So, is there a team that you're supporting here right now, or are you more for Omega or Vitality?
I mean, like, I'm rooting for both of them.
Both? Okay, that's fair. That's fair. It's all right. It's all right. I mean, they're both really fantastic teams.
Yeah.
So, tell us a bit about the cosplay, of course. Like, how was this all made? How many days? Did someone help you? Like, tell me everything.
I mean, I think it took about like 4 days only.
4 days,
Yeah,
wow.
it's so rushed already, so I can't do it myself. So there's a friend who could help me on the way. Like, yeah, I lost some part of the costume while on the way, but I think it's still okay, right?
Yeah, no, it's fantastic. Selena
you.
Virus skin is an epic skin. So now that you have that, is there another hero you want to try to make a cosplay out of?
I want to do Fanny so bad.
Fanny!
Yeah.
All right. Wait, do you make your own props? Like, will you be able to make the swords?
Oh no, not actually. I only can do like small props.
All right.
Yeah.
But you still get help and all that.
Yeah.
But still, fantastic with the Selena Virus skin. Thank you so much.
Thank you
Keiko,
so
do you want to
much.
say a quick message to all your supporters?
Thank you so much. Like, I don't think there's many supporter out for me, but thank you so much.
Sure
Like,
there.
yeah.
All right. Thank you for your time, Keiko. Hopefully to see you around more. And we'll go back to the talents.
Bye.
Keiko, you have so many supports. We even have 2, 3, including me as well, that support you. Did you like the cosplay?
I think I would cosplay as a Grok.
Oh yeah?
With
and
the
then
pillar?
and then just tumble around and then just crashing into people, you know? That sounds fun.
I'm a fan. I'm a fan of what Keiko did here, her cosplay, but it's just I have a nagging fear of Selena's.
The fire skin as well.
I'm just afraid of abyssal traps,
Yeah.
abyssal arrows.
Sometimes I want to get hit, but then they missed. I mean,
Like
if
to get hit.
the Selena looks like that, it's like, take me. No?
I don't think that's.
Am I digging my own grave here? I mean, like, someone help me out.
All right, let's talk about the game. Again, we talked about the art of losing. We talked about how certain teams, certain players, certain individuals know how to emotionally and mentally deal with
Yeah.
failure. Maybe we should go deeper than just the players. Let's talk about the coaches, right? You have Susu Gaja and Dewa for Vitality. I wish I knew more about them, but what I do know about is Coach King Salman. King Salman has had a colorful, let's call it that, a colorful career. Played in the Philippines under TNC after years of playing in the amateur scene. Played in the MPLMY, you know what that looked like. And then came back home, lost himself for maybe 6 months, good season. And then now look at this, he's on the world stage leading 5 ladies into a new era, possibly dethroning the Queens of MLBB.
Shout out to Selena, by the way. Selena's here.
Huh?
You don't see her?
She is,
No, she's
right here.
here.
Oh! She's in the middle! Oh, is that Keiko? Keiko?
It's the
Close
base
enough.
skin.
Oh, I thought it was Keiko.
I'm still afraid. See, this is what a scared Leo looks like. I'm just...
But Selena's super cute and pretty.
No.
Have you been hit by an abyssal arrow?
you been stunned
Like in
for
real life,
1.75
no.
seconds?
But in game,
No, 4
maybe.
seconds.
Max.
Max range, 4 seconds stop.
I have like this tendency to always walk into the abyssal arrows.
See, you want to get hit too.
No. But it's like
What's
the
wrong with
idea
you?
that I'm avoiding it, that I get hit by it. Maybe I should have your mentality. Maybe it is about mentality, guys. It's
It
about
is.
mindset.
It's about mindset. If you get hit first, is it really your fault or the other player's good?
So are you saying it's not the arrow hitting you, it's you hitting the arrow?
Yes. I always sidestep into the arrow.
As a show of dominance?
No, it's completely unintentional.
Although I do have to say, as a Grok main, I do actually walk into the arrows. I mean, like, that's what we do.
Yeah.
We tank it so that other people don't get hit.
Not
That
much
makes
not much in the Grok that Vivian played in game 2.
Yeah.
Right? There was a moment in game 2 wherein she set up an amazing flicker while charge, and off camera during the broadcast, I was thinking to myself, and I think I very vocally said to LaFell and to Eterna, you guys don't have to take my word for this. This is still the mother of tanks we're looking at, right? Any moment now they could just snap. She could just set up a play, and she did, but it didn't lead to much.
It It was very difficult to follow up on, though, right? The composition from Smart Omega Empress.
Yeah.
Like, the rest were trying. There were so many moments where we had examples that the rest of the members were trying.
And it was an early game too. It was like 5.
It was 6 minutes. 6 minutes, 28 seconds.
30. Yeah. We have a play for that, but
maybe we'll see it after.
yeah.
Maybe.
It's about, I don't want to say it was the wrong target because they're aiming for the Roamer inside of the mid, but hindsight, it was a bad idea, but maybe it was a good idea in the moment.
And in the moment, at the moment, the game is going to be starting very, very soon. We are going to throw it back to the stage. We're going to throw it back to the casters to bring us back into the Land of Dawn.
Welcome to Mobile
And that shot
Legends.
we shall. We're going to jump back into the game here. Thanks for being patient with us, everybody. We wanted to make sure, of course, that it's match point, that everything is settled in a situation. Once again, here at the desk, it's me, Naisu, joined with Mirko. It's match point for Smart Omega Empress, possibly making history with this game if they can go ahead and topple the Queens of MLBB. But for Team Vitality, I gotta say, I like the lineup they brought for this game. This is a good composition that can cover a lot of the basis of the game from early all the way to the late game here.
There's a little give and take, though, as we get into the game. I definitely want to put my, or put all of you, the viewers' attention towards Shinoa, because she's actually going to go with a Brave Smite instead of the normal Quantum Charge that we have seen most recently. This is, Quantum Charge is definitely the favorite, right?
Yeah.
Back in the day, yes, it was a Brave Smite. You could go for that very cringe, tanky build too on the carry. That, you know what? We won't mention it even. But here, it's going to be kind of tough. It's great to survive in lane against the Brody, but in the skirmishes, especially when you're getting chased down by the Yuzong, the additional movement speed that you usually get with the Quantum Charge usually lets you evade from a lot of the dive. Now, not so much, right? So she's going to have to rely on her Purify, on her dashes even more.
Yeah, it's mainly just so that you can go ahead and withstand the pressure that's going to be here from this lineup, especially from Team Vitality, the fact that they have a Louis Yi. With the diversion plays, you kind of have to always have your head on a swivel. You always have to be looking around you, especially for Shinoa. And she's already showed that she can do this. I mean, she is the only one that's gotten a Savage here throughout MWI. So we'll see if she can actually continue to play the way she has been up to this point. And so as we mentioned, that Turtle's going to be up here. It looks like it's just going to be started up with Smart Omega Empress. I'm not sure if Team Vitality can really do anything about it. Doesn't look like that's going to happen. Nope. Keshi gets the turtle.
Vivian will be able to escape. Diversion coming down. Amore is going to be caught there. Goes with Primal Wrath, able to take it and gets out. Well played to Amore. Doesn't even have to burn the Purify.
Yeah, that's honestly, this is like the power that you can use with a Valentina. You always get a choice to take a couple of these ultimates that are going to help you in certain situations, and this time it was that Primal Wrath. Look at this on the bottom side. Shell gets the information. Not sure, though. The rest of the team making their way through. This could be a response from them, but I think right now she's just going to be on the defensive. And so that's the thing. Even for the Brody pick, man, like, we haven't seen Brody too much. I know we saw him debut today and then actually do all right, but in this matchup, when you're trying to play from a distance because you're trying to avoid getting set up upon, I mean, there's a Barret's across from you. You already know the Hayabusa is going to be putting the pressure there. Is this a good pick for the gold lane? Is this good to get them another game under their belt here to extend the series?
I think it's going to be good if they play around their power spikes, but obviously for Smart Omega Empress, they can actually just play to avoid the power spike. In the mid game is where Vitality will have most of the power, most of the advantage. Yeah. So as long as Smart Omega Empress don't go for a lot of these crazy fights early on, the fact that they've already gotten a neutral objective without contest is already really good, by the way. So Vitality really need to push on the pace here, and you can already see the rotation in the bottom side of the map. That's exactly what they're going for. Chell, Skypiercer for side of Vivian. Two-man Earth Shatter into the onward, now dealing some damage. Keishi in the backline, City gonna be assassinated. Chell, good stun over to Keishi, torn apart, memory used up. Keishi very low. Vivian, Primal Wrath, Bivol. Not gonna go for the Lycan form just yet, but because of that aggressive maneuver, I'll have to say, despite the kill, no, Smart Omega Empress got so much more value on top of the kill because not a Yanami, 2 levels ahead, gets half of the turret shield up top.
Yeah, good for her, and good start here already for Smart Omega Empress. And this is what I was talking about. The pressure coming out from a Hayabusa pick is always going to be there. She's also running the Warcry emblem, and it's very easy to proc that, get that extra percentage of damage already on. And so for Team Vitality, they're going to have to kind of be wary of the back line, especially on how they find these placements with a diversion. Turtle's up here, second one of the game. It's going to be Team Vitality that starts it up. We'll see if Smart Omega Empress wants to do anything about it.
Black Dragon form used up the Earth Shatter earlier, not Ayanami. How's it? Okay, with a steal! With a quad shadow! And then they get out smooth! Smooth criminal.
Like a ninja here. Keshi, time and time again. Man, has she stepped up throughout the entirety of MWI. Picks up the Sky Piercer now too. So her threat level, it just rose a notch. Maybe two. Because now you have a Sky Piercer and you have some pretty squishy, members that you can target down if you're from Team Vitality. So she's gonna play around that.
That's a flicker into the depths. Welcome, Keishi comes in with a quad shadow and the shadow kill for Miyako can only just dive in. What an amazing setup up top. Mirai gonna be taken off the land. Dawn. Vitality really looking for a trade at this point of the game. Shinoa going in, dealing some damage. Vivel taking up a few shots. For Chell deals as much damage as possible, but even then, they can't go for the turret. It's gonna be delayed a bit, and then Smart Omega Empress again will utilize that timing to go to mid lane. Amore, very aggressive. Keishi as well, doesn't have the Shadow Kill just yet. With the Purify used up, they go for the turret, they take it down. Vivian forced to use the Primal Wrath. 2,000 gold ahead, Smart Omega Empress.
The macro plays right now, the timing of the rotations from the Empresses is just on point. It's been perfect throughout the series, even from their last series. It doesn't seem like there's a weak point for them right now. They have to find something for Team Vitality here. Taking a look at the items real quick too. You're gonna have some of the first items locked in now. That is the Enchanted Talisman locked in. Diversion gonna be used, but no follow-up through that portal. Also, too, you have a Sky Piercer on Shell, right? She picked it up early on, but so far she's got the kill. She's farming up the best she can here. She is slightly ahead of Shinoa, but again, you have to point the fact that Shinoa, she's been on the defense, and I think that's also why she went with the Brave Smite, because she knew that she would have to play like this. And now, top side.
I'm offended, locking her down. Good Earth Shatter on the Furious Stack defensively. Mirai gonna be caught under the turret. Cine picks up the kill, back even on the board. But in terms of gold, in terms of macro, still heavily in favor of the Empresses. We're gonna go on a turtle, third one, this time for free. Diversion into the mid bush. The Black Dragon form, they want to go for the fight. Flicker forward into the stun and the Petrify. Vivian picks up the kill. That's a trade back for the turtle.
Okay, Team Vitality finding wins where they can. Yes, they've given up all three turtles, but they found a couple key kills. Could they get another? Flicker going to be used. Still alive for now, so for Team Vitality, managing to now get some space to work with across the map. They get the tier 1 down. It's going to be traded up top as Smart Omega Empress gets the top turret. So this is now at the point of the game. Before that first Lord comes up, what do you have to make? You have to be able to match the macro level of play that Smart Omega Empress has done. And part of the good thing is, hey, we have a Luo Yi. Use that advantage of the diversion to help you do that. Malefic Roar being picked up as well for Vivel. So some of these key items are also being locked in because of the way that Team Vitality has been playing. We'll see if once again both teams get it situated.
Oh, 3-man, I'm offended. Into the damage. Good Terrify on a defensive Furious side. Vivian gonna be caught, and so does from Miyako. A double for Shinoa. A disengage for Vitality. 50 seconds on the Lord. Smart Omega Empress want to go for the mid lane. That's a tier 2. Chell and Cine very vulnerable. Ayanami doesn't have Detona's welcome, but Smart Omega Empress just pick up that turret. Good punishes on the board.
Man, every time there is a Ruby across from you, that is probably one of the most deadliest bushes that you can wait in. Because you saw it, a multiple member I'm offended pull in that they collapse on. And that can happen time and time again. Every time Murray has her ultimate available, they're gonna look for plays like that. And her game sense, her game knowledge is so good that she knows where to find those setups at. So still a push, a try from Team Vitality. Lord's coming up here in 5 seconds. The gold lead builds a little bit in favor, of course, for Smart Omega Empress. The defensive items, Radiant Armor now locked in for Vivian. She's gonna be the one to take the front of the damage. Take the brunt of it here. Conceal going to be used though. There goes Vivian.
Time offended, getting used up. Vivian with the Primal Wrath forced out. Now the Shadow Kill into the back. Chell's going to be tanking a whole lot of that damage from Miyako with the... Shinoa gets a fadeaway onto Vivian as she flickers out. The window slowly but surely closing for Team Vitality. They retaliate. As the Black Dragon form, Death is welcome, connecting on the city, but she is able to purify out. Vivel now jumping on Amore, who steals out the Primal Rat from Mieko. Still with the passive, caught in the I'm Offended shell. Using the torn apart memory, is not going to be enough. Sydney now stopped down to the ground by not Ayanami. And that's another for a kill. Vivel caught all alone, chasing her down, but will not be able to take her out. Not just yet. Shinoa onto the tier 2 she goes instead of the Lord. And still, they can go for the Lord anytime they want. They decide now is the time.
Whew, I thought she would get that turret too. She was like one hit away, but you know what? Go for the Lord here. The Empresses are going for the kill. What an amazing 2 minutes for them as that unfolded. And a good try from Team Vitality to go in, won the diversion, but unfortunately, their team fighting's whole series has not been on point. It seems disgruntled or disjointed when they approach these team fights, and the targeting is just not there. And Smart Omega Empress knows this, and they've been playing to that tune. Now with the Lord in their favor, going down the middle. Could this possibly be the push? Have they gotten themselves this much of a lead to end the game before the 12-minute mark? Shields are going to pop here. Lord now in the mid lane. Team Vitality's got to deal with it. Looks like they're going to be able to clear it up pretty easily here.
The Lord down there as well. Vivian walks up forward. Okay, she has the quad shadow on Chell. She can decide to go for it, but Shinoa is a bit too low. Vivian pops into conceal. That Magic Sentry will be able to reveal all 5 members, but Vitality can only just watch as Smart Omega Empress back away.
Okay, Team Vitality still okay. They stay in the game. They hold on to the base turrets, albeit one hit away on that mid turret. But this is where, you know, they have enough time to go ahead and build up some items. Glowing Wand locked in from Cindy. She's only got the Enchanted Talisman after that, but also even for Vivian, you know, she doesn't have that much defense. She's working on the second item. She's got, of course, that Radiant Armor to help with that magic damage, but, you know, even to be said, they don't have an answer for Shinoa yet. Shinoa's been completely fine and untouched on this carry pick, even half the time not needing her Purify. Blade of Despair also locked in for Keshi, so Keshi a huge threat for Team Vitality to get over. And as long as they play against the I'm Offended being the setup potential for them, or even from not Ayanami, she's been on point with this Barrett's, they should be okay, but it's all about buying more time. They managed to withstand that first push, that siege with the Lord. Can they buy more time here to get ready for the next one? I think even when we're a minute away from this Lord, unless something miraculous happens, and that has to be the diversion, to be able to pull through and win that Lord fight possibly, or win the team fight.
At this point, even if we're looking for ways to come back, it has to be a big mistake for Smart Omega Empress as well. Because, again, if we take a look at their composition on paper, they should be able to scale very well, too, in towards the later stage of the game. Meanwhile, for Team Vitality, we see a pretty big fall-off for the Brody. The Roger does pretty well, but the Lo Yi as well. That's something that will fall off in terms of damage, but in terms of obviously the creative chances that you can apply on the map, the pressure, the creativity there, it's still very, very good. So it really will come down to the execution, but again, the easy window for a win to snowball, it's over for Team Vitality. Now they have to dig deep.
Yeah, you're gonna have to dig deep. Heard the conceal being used there too, but you know, at this point, Shell did pick up a Wind of Nature, so at least she's got a little more defense here. And I think that's the struggle, you know, is getting the marks off. That's the thing about the Brody. You do have range, but you also got to get those marks off and then hope that you can cap off with the torn apart memory. And so far, as this Lord is up, they try to get in this positioning. The good thing, like I said, they managed to hold on to that mid turret, so they'll have to manage the wave. Not sure if they want to actually go ahead and contest fully for the Lord. They have the information, conceal used as well, but Smart Omega Empress will take this slowly. They know they have this movement on their favor, the time on their favor. And so it looks like Team Vitality won't pull the trigger just yet.
Good wave up top for Team Vitality. They're really trying to play their cards right at this point because really they cannot make any mistakes. For Smart Omega Empress, it's much more relaxed for them. It's another day, it's another game. They've gotten 2 already.
That match point.
Massive lead. Shinoa is level 14 to the Brody, and this is the timer as usually to what we see a Brody have a lead. City walks up again very aggressively.
Okay, still waves being managed here. Look at the placements, of course, for Fumi. She might be part of this whole thing. If they can pull this off, if they can find a way to utilize this, but the conceal is going to be used, they force Vivian back. That might be enough for them to just give the go on the Lord. It looks like they're going to go ahead and push it. But as Vivian approaches back up, they don't know where the diversion is going to come through, and that's also part of the equation for Smart Omega Empress on why they take it slowly. Meanwhile, they're building more defensive items. Rose Gold Meteor now picked up for Shinoa to help with a little bit of that burst, that magic damage that can come through from Cindy, especially when the diversion follows through. But we're at a stalemate here. Amore holding on to that Edith Ultimate, the Primal Wrath, if they need it. But still, even if Smart Omega Empress does this for the next 2-3 minutes, it gives time for Team Vitality to catch up a little bit. There's the diversion. They're going to go.
Onto Vivian, Lo Yi, diversion into the back. Shinoa going to be caught in the midst of it all. Now the Black Dragon form comes in. Vivo jumps into the Lycan form. Cini dealing damage onto Amore with the help of Chell. Fomi able to escape. Vivo goes for the Lycan pounce, unable to get Shinoa. Keishi gets stunned, but is still able to get to the Quad Shadow in time. Vitality are fighting, so are Smart Omega Empress. And like you said, Naisu, it's still a stalemate, but Vivo wants to go for it. It's been stolen away from Ayanami with the steal on Barat of all things.
How? How did not Ayanami get that? It's not her. What happened? How? Let's take a look at the STC replay. She goes in. Tell me it was the missiles. Oh, what? It wasn't even the missile. What a steal. Let's put it at that. And she's going to feel pretty good about that. And they march into the base now. Lord mid lane. Conceal going to be used.
Enhanced Lord charging down into the mid lane. Dora Wolf came onto Vivo, but she's able to still escape. Shinoa jumping forward. Oh. Not Ayanami. Once again with the Netsus welcome. Vivian going to be shredded down. Keisha backline with a shadow kill as well. Fomi Echo is next to the chopping block. She goes for the Fury side. Keishi gets a double. The Lord dealt with, but there's another wave. Keishi walking up. Chell moving forward, jumps in with a stack, but now will we stay with a ninja? Chell with a double, saves the game for a big Shinoa. Will punish a bit more, picking up another base turret.
Chell keeps Team Vitality, keeps their dynasty together with that one play for now, buying themselves some more time. Smart Omega Empress so close, so near the end there, but not going to be able to get it. You take a look at the STC replay, they had it here at this moment. They go in with a Daytona's welcome on the backside. Keshi goes in with a shadow kill with the Lord quickly taken care of. And no minion wave pushed in because the two turrets, top and bottom, are still up. You can see, of course, a little adjustment here from Murray. They know that at that point they could have ended it possibly. But what a defense from Team Vitality. And all this equates to getting to that point. This is the longest game that they've had in the series so far. And it buys them enough time to build up. Now you have some of these defensive items for Team Vitality. Winter's Crown there. Now for Cini. Could be enough. Also the Antique Harass now for Vivian to help with some of that damage coming through. And so at this point, they find themselves at this once again. The hard part for Team Vitality is not just waiting for the Lord and going through that whole orchestrated dance again. It's the fact that they don't have many turrets down. They can't really move around the map the way they want to unless they're going to go and take a risk and use the diversion. But it's better for them to just kind of wait for the same situation they saw earlier. The problem is now on the flip side, Smart Omega Empress starts picking up immortalities. There's two now on the board for them that they can work around with. And even the same can be said now. Vivian, there's the endless battle. So key items across the board for both teams being picked up here.
Far lane control too. Naisu always going to be in control of Smart Omega Empress at this point. It was already very difficult for Vitality to handle the slow pushes being built up by Smart Omega up top, with the Lord always being in the bottom side of the map. But now with the base turret taken down there, even if they deal with it, even if they constantly clear it, it's always going to be slow pushing back to them. And again, when it comes to wave clear, it's not the composition you want. It's a Lo Yi, it's a Brody.
It's not the composition you want, and right now, Vivian's going to give the information that they started up the Lord here. Fomi Echo getting a position. There's diversion. It's the same setup here, just like last time.
But now it's going to be a bit different. Oh! Steals it away now with the Lycan Passion. No one's going to be taken down by the execute of the Sky Piercer. take a look at the movements now as the Evolve Lord spawns in the bottom side of the map. It's going to be a lot of members trying to look for a little bit of those plays. Keishi was on the mid lane, but luckily the minions spawned in. Smart Omega Empress, they wanted to go for a cheeky little side split push. But now what do? It's an Evolve Lord.
It's an Evolve Lord that Smart Omega Empress has to deal with, but great play this time around. Vival gets the retribution off, keeps Team Vitality's hopes alive for this. And Divine Glaive picked up for Cine, so this is another power spike for them to deal with. And it's pretty much even, at least in economy-wise, for the team. Now for Team Vitality, can they go ahead and get some space to work with? They got to go ahead and focus on this mid lane, but it looks like Smart Omega Empress also wants to hold down the front if they can.
Can't be greedy.
Can't be greedy. They're going to go for it here, putting the pressure.
Good, I'm offended, but now with the winner crown there. Remember, the Evolve Lord is still in the bottom lane. They need to send members to deal with it. Tier 1 in the mid lane going to be taken down as well now as they send the members down below. Chino with the ultimate already. Evolve Lord going to be dealt with. Doesn't seem like Vitality can utilize that Lord. Great defense by Smart Omega Empress. It didn't even charge in the base turret.
Didn't charge in. So after all of that, after that retribution from Vival, they got what? One turret in the mid lane. And you can look at it this way. It's baby steps. Baby steps in the right direction to extend the series and not get swept here by Smart Omega Empress. Team Vitality trying to do everything they can from that base defense earlier on from Shell to that steal of the Lord from Vival. And now diversion going to be used into the base, into the jungle.
Cine's still able to escape. Mariah is going to go with the I'm Offended now onto Vivian. Catching her to Terrify too. It'll bait out the Flicker. A big resource once again, but it will be Smart Omega Empress again denying a play away with that diversion.
Do you think that's the move, Mirko? Do you have to start to make those kind of plays for Team Vitality? Is it the right move, or is it better to just wait for this Lord Tango to commence here, the third one of the game?
I think it was a great move earlier, right? To catch them off guard, because I think even Smart Omega Empress, they were like, there's no way they take that. But if you keep on doing that, it'll be very readable. And Smart Omega Empress, we've seen that they've been able to get the read on Team Vitality. So Vitality gotta keep on throwing feints. It's a bit harder now on the Loyi to throw feints because of the cooldown that's been nerfed quite a bit. The duration now a bit longer. So many of the feinting moments with the diversion no longer possible.
Yeah, it's definitely harder here for them, but you know, at this point, we've seen this a couple times now. When we get into the territory of this is the fourth Lord that will be taken, you're past the 20-minute mark. You know, this stronger Lord is going to hurt, right? You can't even just juggle it or blitz it like you have in the past one. And so far, every single time, it's been nearly the same, where they let Smart Omega Empress start it up, and then they try to come in with a diversion. And if possibly they can even get a pick off, that's going to be great for the numbers for Team Vitality. But it looks like the information comes through, and still at the same time, like you mentioned earlier, they have to manage those waves with the turrets down at the top and middle. And so for Smart Omega Empress, they're going to go ahead and get in position here. We just saw the diversion used, so it's not up on cooldown just yet. But now at this point, Team Vitality has all the defensive items that they need to really contest this. Vivian goes up front side. They're going to wait still if they can buy time. Diversion available now. And we might see a very similar setup that we saw earlier on with this Lord.
We're going to have to see that. How does Smart Omega Empress tackle this? It seems Chinoa, I guess this is the advantage of going for the Brave Smite, right? You don't have as much mobility, but you can even tank up the Lord. So Evolve Lord changes to the Lord? Nah, I'm good with the carry.
Just tank it up, but it's still the same dance. You know, this is again going back to it where before we had all this Lord dance and everything else, but now it's just kind of this standoff. You know, I don't know, maybe the square dance or whatever we can call it, the tango. You have those waves pushing in, but Smart Omega Empress, they actually don't even want to commit just yet because of what's happened in the previous Lord. And one thing you can't count them out is the fact that they could go for a split push. We've seen it happen before. Hell, we've seen teams just run it down mid, even when a team is so concerned with the Lord, this objective, because by this time, you know, 24 minutes in, this Lord could possibly be a guaranteed push into the base and a win for the game. If Team Vitality even steals it, is already going to give them a big advantage, but this is probably the most cautious that we've seen both these teams so far throughout the series.
Good read there. Just utilizing the jungle creep to open up the bush for you. Notice that it walked the other way. There was someone in that bush. She doesn't know who, but she has a pretty good idea.
That's that game IQ.
In-game equipment. Let's take a look at this once again. Yeah, winter crown already built up, and Brody still has the boots, so Chell still wants that additional mobility that she needs in these skirmishes, but at this point, we're really just going to be waiting for some item swaps.
See if they go in that. Checking the bush here. Diversion could be used.
Moray's going to be caught all alone with a diversion there. Great catch. Moray's still able to escape, but now Immortality taken down. That's a big, big item. That'll be done for quite a bit. One of the Immortalities down. Now they got to deal with the big Dynaman.
And even with that, they just go back to what this was, right? Setting up positions for this Lord. And for Team Vitality, that might be the play, you know, trying to catch someone off guard from Smart Omega Empress that time around. They weren't able to capitalize the kill, but they did get the Flicker. They did get the Immortality, which are crucial for the success of this lineup for Smart Omega Empress, especially when it comes to this fighting. So still, they don't want to actually start this up just yet because of the fact Diversion is available again. Oh, Flicker in.
That's an most welcome. Vivol buys the Immortality, gets up with the Lycan form from Mieko. Jumping to the back, City, all alone, City! In a 1v4! Buys the Blood Wings, gets out! Oh my goodness, Vivian! Oh! Does with the Earth Shatter, Keishi on the chase, City gonna be taken down! Vivian, no Immortality! The Shadow Kill to the back, Little Nature there, Chell goes for the stun, but Keishi wants to go for the execute. A few more hits with Lycan form, Chell still able to cut away! Now Keishi assassinates Vivol as Chell buys the Immortality.
I think they're going to go ahead and run it down mid. They're going to focus on the base here. There's only 2 left for Team Vitality.
Big waves coming down. Chell going to be targeted down. No Immortality. On a conquest for their 25th. The Queens of MLBB have fallen. The dynasty, the streak, the era. And to take their thrones are the Empresses.
No queen shall rule forever. The Empresses have made history here today in a sweep. They've dethroned the Queens of MLBB. Man, what a game, 26 minutes. Master Macro from Smart Omega Empress is here. The journey that they've had up to this point and what they just accomplished here. History has been made for the MLBB Women's Invitational 2024 at the Esports World Cup.
The first international victory for Smart Omega Empress. You can see the thrill, but also the agony. The first loss in an international tournament for Team Vitality.
Whew. You can see just how elated the squad is. Everything that they've been doing time and time again, their journey up to this point, the crowd here cheering them on. And who would have thought it would have been a sweep coming in today? I didn't even know it would be a sweep. That's 2 sweeps back to back. And they managed to get that champion.
3-0, 3-0. The games lost today, totally for Vitality, 4 games. That's, like you said, if you add it up, it could be their entire MWI run since 2022.
It's definitely a new era here for MWI. For the Philippines, feeling really confident and good about it, of course. For Team Vitality, they tasted defeat for the first time in years. Of course, great sportsmanship there between the 2 amazing teams, the amazing players here. I think even for Smart Omega Empress, they're probably hasn't hit them yet. Still believe in what they've done, what they've accomplished.
Always second, always third, always looking from afar. As a team they have defeated today lifts the trophy every single time. And today, it is their time to shine. How poetic. The Queens of MLBB dethroned by the Empresses.
It's amazing once again. Even the staff behind them. The way that they drafted this, the way that they brought this from even in the previous series. And then this one, when they approached this, such great minds behind these great, amazing athletes, these players, these women, as we celebrate just these pro players, these women, what they're able to accomplish here on this international stage. Make their country, make their family, make everybody very proud of what they've accomplished here. Again, congratulations, champions. MWI 2024 at EWC. Smart Omega Empress, they're gonna enjoy this victory, man. Whether it's swimming through the confetti, raising that trophy later on, crushing that key. Think about that key. What is in that key? But let's throw it over to the stage.
Ladies and gentlemen, this is a brand new era right here for MWI 2024. The Titan Slayers presenting to you your brand new champions, Smart Omega Empress. Absolutely amazing, the pride of the Philippines. Let's hear it from the Filipinas.
Come on, guys, I can do better than this. One more time. We're making history here. Make some noise!
It is absolutely amazing to watch. Pinas lang malakas!
All right.
Absolutely amazing, and that was true. Today, the Empresses woke up and choose violence. And as mentioned, right here at the Esports World Cup, fortune awaits the fearless. And there you have them. Why be a queen when you can be an empress?
Beautifully said, ladies and gentlemen. One more time. Let's hear it for Smart Omega Empress!
Okay, so now we want to hear from the team. There's a lot of shock, but we want to hear it from you guys. Okay, so how do you feel taking down not just any team, a team that has been reigning for 4 years, taking every single tournament from you, 24 consecutive win streaks that you guys have tainted that perfect score? What do you have to say?
Okay, it feels like it's a fantasy. We couldn't believe it ourselves until now. We're still, I don't know. It's like a dream. It's like a dream come true for us. Yeah, we never believed like we would sweep them. We expected at least that maybe it's a 5-game series kind, but we can't believe this as well.
Beautiful. It's beautiful.
I cannot put my feelings right now. I can put into words, but I just wanted to say thank you to our organization. We're here because of them, especially to our bosses, Sir Pat, Sir Proy, and Coach Q. Thank you for trusting us, especially my players and Smart Omega. Yeah. I cannot put into words, but thank you, team, for participating. I just wanted to say, yes, we made it.
Yes.
Yes, you did.
Yes.
Yes, you did.
Yes, we did it.
In the making, taking place right here. Queen,
Thank you.
it's taking place right here at the EWC, but it's now time to announce the MVP. Ladies and gentlemen, can you tell who it is? Let me hear some names now, come on. What? Let me hear it again. And ladies and gentlemen, viewers around the world, your MVP is Shinoa! Yes. I know. Emotional. Not only you won the MVP, but you won for the Philippines as well. You know, taking place right now, not only you changed the narrative of the story itself taking place here, not only you are here in the first ever Esports World Cup, but also you won $50,000 right here, ladies and gentlemen, with the EWC here for the MWI 2024. Oh my God, tears. You're gonna make me cry right now.
Anything you want to say, Shinoa?
Exactly.
Savage Shinoa, by the way.
Oh, I was not expecting it. Honestly, I was so tilted by the past tournaments, but here I am proving myself that I can do it, and I'm so thankful.
Anything you want to say to your friends and family back home, even in Tagalog if you have to?
Salamat sa mga sumusuporta sa akin.
Beautifully said right here.
Thank you, guys.
Thank you. Thank you. And now,
It's
Queen.
absolutely amazing. This is what esports is doing. This is what our female pro players are doing, redefining the culture that is esports with life-changing money right here. They have taken the lion's share of the $500,000 prize pool, and on top of that, the MVP Shinoa has gotten an extra $50,000.
Wow.
So this is the time to shine, and our Empresses right here from the Philippines have shone brightly. This is a brand new era of Mobile Legends Bang Bang. In the MSC, we have seen a new king arise, and right here for MWI, we have new Empresses, the Titan Slayer Smart Omega Empresses, the pride of the Philippines. Over to you guys at the studio.
We started this tournament, we started MWI 2024 with 12 teams, but only one prevails amongst all the rest. And it was not an easy journey for them. And I'm not just talking about the group stage, I'm not just talking about the knockout stage, but it's been 3 years. The first time they went in 2022, 5th to 8th place. 2021, 3rd place. And finally, after 2 long years plus, they come here in 2024 and take it all.
And with them all throughout, the gold laner Shinoa. I've had my eyes on her career for the longest time, ever since they came out of LVD Huntress, carrying the banner of Smart Omega Empress. And that jump in her playstyle, in her development, in her growth from 2022 to 2023 was enormous. What now after becoming a world champion?
I don't know. Honestly, for me, I'm a bit speechless. Like, looking at how emotional they were, I feel emotional as well because this victory means a lot to Smart Mega Empress, to all the players.
For sure, we're going to take a look at their highlights from before as well. And I don't think there was a moment in all of the 3 games that we thought, okay, maybe Vitality have got this. It was a steamroll all throughout. They were so sharp, so on point in their execution. Shinoa MVP for sure, but all the rest of the members, Mirai, Amor, we saw as well, like Keishi, not Ayanami.
That's everyone.
I mean Ayanami, but her name is not Ayanami.
Yeah, like,
yeah, it's confusing, but you know what we mean.
Diagon.
Yeah.
Philippines Diagon. These women are all national athletes, and here they carry the banner not just of Smart Omega, but as well of the Philippines. We came up short in MSC, but here, again, playing arguably maybe half the amount of tournaments that Team Vitality did over the past competitive season. They came out and they showed that heart and believing yourself and working with your team goes a long way.
Hard work
There's a
pays
lot of
off.
heart. Yeah. Honestly, there's a lot of heart. We heard from the coach as well, thanking to the organization for giving them a chance, because I feel like this is something that we have to highlight for MWI as well. Not a lot of female players are given the chance But when you give them the chance, they can show you that they can do it.
And I do believe this show